Prepare yourself for a talk radio experience like no other.
Strap yourselves in and hold on.
He stands for truth. He stands for justice. He stands for what's right. This is the Alex Jones Show. Call Alex now, toll free, at 877-590-5525. Now live from Austin, Texas, here's Alex Jones.
That's right, coming to you from deep in the heart of Texas and syndicated across the United States on a growing list of wonderful AM and FM affiliates. Also blasting out on the internet at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Simulcast on WWCR, Global World Service Shortwave. Thank you so much for joining us. It is the 17th day of February, 2008. We're going to be live for the next 2 hours. I took off Thursday and Friday because there has been a new addition to my family. Very blessed and thank God for that and my great wife. And I was going to take off today, but there was just too much news, too much happening. So I'm here live, ladies and gentlemen. Massive escalations, at least on the surface, between the former Eastern Bloc, the United States versus Russia. The U.S. supposedly teamed up with the former Eastern Bloc. Russia denounces the new Kosovo Declaration of Independence. Kosovo members of parliament proclaim independence. Russia says U.S. satellite shot a weapons test. And even the British papers and U.S. papers admit that they're not going to laser beam or particle beam that satellite to keep it from crashing into the earth, that it's a public violation of the different weapons treaties that are out there. Putin says Russia ready to target NATO threats with nuclear weapons. Huge escalations. This makes Khrushchev look tame. Russian bomber buzzes U.S. aircraft carrier twice, headed towards Japanese coast and international waters. Also, nuke threat puts West on notice. We're definitely going to talk about this stack of news today. Also, the Democrats are plotting a 5-year amnesty program through the agencies without even passing a law. More and more, the federal government, run by both parties, they all work for the same globalist interest, just by fiat use the agencies to carry out new policies, never even passing new laws. So you think 30 million illegal aliens driving down the dollar, bankrupting the hospitals and the government, quote, social safety nets. You think that's bad? Wait till another 30 million are legalized and used as a political tool to vote for gun control, everything else you can imagine. The big reason I came in to do the show live today is because another serotonin reuptake inhibitor, the Prozac class of drugs, another person, I've never seen a case. The guy a few months ago at the shopping mall, there in Nebraska, in Omaha. A few months before that, the individual in Blacksburg, Virginia. It's always the same, but that's not where it stops. The victim disarmament zones, it's always in a no-gun area where these people know they can have their way with people. Then the media hypes it, causing copycats. And this individual wrote notes about the last shootings. He was wearing a trench coat. He was a devil-worshipping Nazi. It's always the same M.O. He just gotten out of the Army. He was going to school to be a cop, and he went off his medication. Now, all of the major serotonin reuptake inhibitor drugs, by law, 2 years ago, Europe 5 years ago, had to put in their inserts. And if you go to the different Prozac and Luvox and the rest of them's websites, it'll admittedly say massively increases suicide, massively increases psychotic breaks, violent actions, psychopathic behavior. Well, it's an oxymoron. Antidepressant? Yeah, but when you have a bad trip, it happens when you're on it, but it also happens when you go off of it because then it totally whacks you out. And we've done a study. I've looked at some of the studies, but I've made a study of it. A lot of people that do commit suicide in jails and prisons, they get arrested. They go in for DWI or no seatbelt or a fist fight. They go in, and 3 or 4 days later, they're off their Prozac, and they kill themselves. And this just happens over and over, and I know people this has happened to. Totally normal on this stuff. I mean, I guess you could say in some cases it actually helps people, but then they go off of it, and they cut their baby's arms off. They drive their car with their 3 babies in it over the cliff. They shoot their neighbors. This stuff is dangerous. So, but there's no talk of restricting it. Oh, no. It's our guns. So that when a nut is on their medication or goes off their medication and comes in to kill you, you can lay there like a bunch of squealing rabbits while they have their way with you. So we'll be breaking that down today as well. And big New World Order news. Every day there's 4 or 5 mainstream stories that I happen to see, and I'm not even looking for these, where we see world government openly being discussed. Barack Obama pushes bill that would mandate global taxation. We'll go over that. That's come out in the mainstream news. Also, EU to kill off firework displays as new safety regulations come into force in England, UK Daily Mail. You see, it's not just that your thermostat's going to be remote controlled by the government, now being proposed here in the U.S. It's not just that in the EU they're banning outside space heaters. It's not just that they're banning what type of light bulbs you can have in the U.S. and the EU in the name of saving the earth. It's about setting the precedents that they control local governments, that they control you. And so they can tax each and every facet of our lives. Taxation equals control. So they're setting those precedents. Also, British government minister over family planning says sterilize teenage girls. Mainstream news, Daily Mail. You see, it's just eugenics. That's who runs the global system. If you don't know what eugenics is, folks, you better find out quick. Also, Infowars.com reporters with WeAreChange.org and We Are Change Los Angeles got a lengthy interview with Vicente Fox where he admitted that they want to set up world government, where they admitted they're setting up a North American Union. Now, he admitted this on Larry King Live, but briefly. He spent about a minute on it a few months ago. We played it here. He admitted this on a few other national TV shows. In an interview on The Daily Show, he admitted it. But here, at the end of a speech, Luke Radowski and others walk up and start talking to him, and Fox just says, come on over, let's have a long interview. I mean, I at least have to hand it to him that he didn't scream for security and freak out that he was asked about it. Fox will just be honest and say, yes, we've signed the agreement, and it's being integrated right now. You can go to Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or WeAreChange.org right now. Just want to commend the We Are Change crew. Getting this big interview with Vicente Fox. Vicente Fox seeks international, North American, and emerging world government. Now, we have the documents, but when we talk about it, the national news says we're insane, doesn't exist. Doesn't matter if we have the SPP document, doesn't matter if Judicial Watch sued to get the secret ones 2 years ago. Remember, CNN and Fox, we've played these clips here before on the Sunday show, Sunday edition. We played these clips here where CNN and Fox both say there's not even a North American transportation agreement. They say that Ron Paul is insane and believes in an imaginary trans-Texas corridor. Now, if you live in Texas, 27 million people, you see the big billboards everywhere, and they're taking over existing roads and putting toll roads on it, and the treaty says the money, part of it goes to Mexico to build their roads. And it's all admitted in documents, but they know you're dumb. They know you've been brainwashed. And so they'll just lie to you and say, no, it just doesn't exist. Those billboards put up by the state of Texas don't exist. Vicente Fox admitting all this doesn't exist. Bush getting up a few months ago at the Rose Garden with the German President Merkel and the head of the European Commission, Barroso, and saying that they're already merging the EU with the NAU. But he'll admit it, but then later the media will say it doesn't exist. So, I mean, when the propaganda gets so bad that other mainstream media calls Lou Dobbs insane, they've now done national pieces calling him nuts, saying he talks about imaginary things. Lou Dobbs just has the documents. Listen, I live in Texas. I have quite a few employees. And I remember last year reading in WorldNet Daily and Human Events about how everybody who's got more than 5 employees in Texas got their North American Union ID number. Well, I guess I didn't have enough employees, but I got more than that. I got like 14, but I guess only 10 in Texas. A few months ago, I got the letter saying, you no longer report to the Texas Workforce Commission. We now report directly to the NAU, and you now file with the North American Hemispheric Government. Doesn't exist, though. It comes to me in the mail, and if I don't report to them through the Workforce Commission, I guess I'll be fined or arrested, but that doesn't exist either. Texas Workforce Commission doesn't exist. Nothing exists. Government only loves you. Everything's wonderful. We're going to cover the gun control when we get back. Stay with us.